vegetables and fruits are very expensive there.
Yes.
So that's like one of the main things that I eat is vegetables. And then I stopped eating vegetables. I was eating rice with everything. Rice and rice and rice.
Right.
And fish.
Well, I mean, you eat rice, just it's a different color.
What? Nah. Well, it's just white rice. So that was hard, I will say, and like also like the way that you approach people, like adults. Mm-hmm. Like here, you just say you, or you just say you, how you doing, or how you. Like over there, you have to say the name in San. Like one time we addressed Kimura San. We called her Kimura, and she got super mad, and she's like, "It's Kimura San, it's Kimura San." And ever since then, it's like just San or like Io San, and then if it's a kid, it's like the kid's name and Chan. So it's confusing. It just gets a little confusing. But you just get used to it.
Well, how long were you there in total?
I was there for 87 days.
So you said after 1 month, that's 30 days, and it was still a little confusing to you after 30 days.
Oh yeah, it was. It was rough, man. It was rough.
Now let's get into the wrestling aspect of your trip. I'm sure there was a lot of not just just the shows itself, but I'm sure there was a lot of training involved.
Oh, absolutely, yes, there was.
Now, did you train the style that you had in the United States, or did you adapt to the training measures that they do there?
No, I adapted to the training measures in Japan. It's different.
Well, that's what I want to ask you. How? Now, you don't have to go super detailed, but like, what if someone asked you what's different between the two? Like, what would jump into your mind?
I guess it's more aerial, like the training style that we had there. Like they had a lot of rope work. You just have to get more comfortable being up on the servo. Very cardiovascular rate. You know how like it was very like lucha style all day. Yeah, and I'm like, it was funny because like they were asking me when I tag in with Starfire, they're like, you guys are gonna have a match and it's not lucha style, and I'm like, lucha style. I train American pro wrestling, but I will learn lucha in 2 weeks. Yes, you got it. No problem. No problem.
I got this.
Yeah.
So, how did the fans take to you?
At the beginning, it was like, different. It was kind of different because you're new, so it takes them a little while for them to warm up to you. And then I was still like kind of trying to find my style within the Japanese style, the American style, and then the lucha style. So after I got my concussion, I made sure I stayed really present on social media. So we'll post things about, me getting better, like me going to the gym, we started going back to training. And then my manager called me from the States and he's like, hey, in your match, I want you to do me a favor. Can you make sure you paint your face? Kind of like what we did in Lucha Stream, like half of your face, so you can like catch their attention. So in my match with Io and Mayu, it was like acting match. I painted my face, and then we started wearing our Oledo tie stuff. So that went like over really, really quick, and like a lot of the fans started like warming up more to me, and like I started, and then also like at the time that I was sick, I started using Godzilla. Mm-hmm. So my little Godzilla figure, he'll go everywhere with me. So started making a storyline, and it just became very popular. At the end, like the fans were very warm, and like when I got down, when we were done on that show, and they let me say my goodbyes and stuff, which was like an honor, honestly, because one of the guys that works in the American Stardom page, he was telling me that that's kind of weird for them to do,
right?
To say goodbye to a wrestler, especially being so young in business. The fans were really nice. They're all like, "Oh, we want to see you back again," like shaking my hand. It was amazing to meet you. We love you. You are amazing. Your character is amazing. They couldn't believe that I was wrestling for the time that I was wrestling. I just debuted in November, so pretty much like half of my wrestling life it was spent in Japan. So that was pretty amazing.
So if you had to rate your experience from 1 to 10, what would you say?
I would say like an 8 or 9.
8 or 9, that's good. I mean,
Yeah,
not many people get the experience of, going to another country and not only just performing in front of crowds, but, to learn how they do things. And I'm sure you met so many, just people now that you call friends.
Man, it was, and that aspect I will say a 10. Like, if I wouldn't have my concussion, I think it would have been like a 20, to tell you the truth, because I would have been able to do a lot more. But, that was, for me, like a sign to slow down and also focus on other stuff, and especially in the ring. But, yes, I made really good friends. I consider Starfire and Nikki Storm, Chris Wolf, really, really close friends, like sisters. We went through it together, and we were part of the heel stable, which was amazing. And plus some of the fans, like there was one fan, his name is Ichi. Hopefully he's listening to this podcast. If he doesn't, I will give him the link. He took a train. It was like a 2-hour train to say goodbye to me the day that I left Japan.
Nice. 2
hours, man. And he was like very moved and very, very happy to have met me. And like he was like, I wish you this. That was like, it was amazing. It was amazing. And like, the fact that I don't know if you were able to see some of the pictures when they made me a goodbye dinner.
You know what? I probably saw it and didn't realize that's what it was.
Yeah, it was like Oerotai. Like some of the senpais were at the Gaijin house, and this is like the very, very first time that they do this. So it was such a humbling experience, that have people that been wrestling for so many years and they taking care of you like that. It was pretty freaking awesome.
I mean, you made a good impression on these people, and I'm sure just from me watching you wrestle on video and things like that, they appreciated that you have a really good work ethic, which some Americans kind of get knocked from that, from people in Japan and China. They kind of knock us Americans for being lazy. And they probably saw that you just had this amazing work ethic.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I used to tell them that I'm like, I'm from California, American Carcamazo, whatever you say, I can't even remember. And then they were like, no, you're Mexican, Mexico Carcamazo. And I'm like, man, I live in America. And they're like, no, you're Mexican. And I'm like, okay, I'm Mexican. I was born in Mexico. Okay. So
any plans of going to Mexico to wrestle now?
Yes. The funds are there. I'm still like working on the details. I really want to work with Starfire. I mean, she's such a great talent. Like, she's so young. She's like 22, 23, and she's been in the business for 8 years. Mm-hmm. So like, she definitely taught me a lot as a wrestler and as a friend. Just like how like for her wrestling was her outlet and like what's her life. Even the fact that she's from Mexico and like how much she struggled in life. It was really amazing to see that. So I'm hoping that can happen soon. Mm-hmm. I will keep you posted.
Now, the flight itself, I'm sure that it has to be two totally different feelings of the flight going and the flight coming home. Where I would say the flight going there, you're probably super excited and just the element of the unknown, and then coming home, you're probably like, I can't wait to get home and, of course, see your husband and tell everybody about your trip and, and then pick up your your schedule and, what you're going to be doing for the next couple of months here, and just explain like the two different feelings that were going through your mind, coming and going.
Well, going to Japan, it was really hard, because I had to put my job on hold and everything. And I think the most difficult part was leaving my husband behind. Mm-hmm. I was probably I was walking, and the lady asking for my passport. I'm like, Were you? Like I'm like sobbing, and I couldn't stop crying. I was crying like a 5-year-old.
Oh.
And then I get in the thing, and I'm like calling, like I'm gonna miss you so much. Like I couldn't stop crying. And then I get to Japan, and I'm like, I just couldn't sleep. Like I think I didn't sleep for like 2 days. Because like I was sad, I was excited, I just wanted to go out. Like I didn't want to miss a thing,
Yeah.
And then on my way back, it was like a whole week. Because I'm a very sentimental person. A whole week of saying goodbyes and crying like the whole entire time. Because I was like sad because I was gonna leave for training. Because like I got really close to some of my trainers there, to my friends, and like I was super excited because I was coming back. I was gonna see my husband. So I don't know. It was like a long, long way home. It was like a 15-hour flight, and then it was the longest Tuesday of my life. I think it was like a 40-hour Tuesday.
Oof.
So it was tough, but I was really happy when I came back.
I can imagine. Got to see your husband and the family and friends, and just be back home.
Yeah.
and
sleep in a regular bed.
And you sleep in your own bed. I mean, I'm sure that was a great thing.
Yeah, man, we were sleeping. You sleep in like there's like little cushions and like on the floor, like and the floor is like made of tatami, which is like a fiber. I don't know what it is, but that thing smells so bad. And like your hair smells like that, your clothes smells like that, and it's like I would just be spraying like perfume all the time because you don't get used to the smell, but then other people will smell you and you're like, you smell like tatami. And I'm like, oh my god. So,
well, at least you don't have to worry about that anymore.
I know.
And then you come home and you don't even. I mean, you barely took a breath, and you're releasing your schedule where, like, the next 3 months you're constantly booked.
Yes, I am. So I'm like, I gotta make sure I train. I go to training twice a week, and then I have to like really like keep up with my gym time and work. It's crazy because I want to make sure that if I return to Japan, or even if I, with my other goals that I have, I want to make sure I keep advancing instead of just like always doing the same. Like that's like the thing that I like about Japan. They always had us, like, especially for the foreigners.
Mm-hmm.
They challenge us so much because we have to come up with new stuff all the time. Because a lot of the girls in Japan, they have their moveset, and you cannot use any other moves, no matter what. Even if those are your signature moves,
right?
In the United States, you have to come up with something new, and that's what happened to me. Because being so new, I was still working on my moveset and stuff like that. So it was like a test.
It's funny you mentioned that because I feel that is what's lacking in independent wrestling. I don't know so much on the West Coast. I haven't been able to see much. But like on the East Coast, it's like people don't pay attention or communicate properly because you'll have a match happen, and then the next match you'll have the same moves used in the first match, and it's like people don't communicate, what their moves are, what they're going to be doing, and make sure that nobody else is doing that. I mean, to me that's a respect thing. If you're going out there putting on a match and you're doing say 7 moves, and you expect nobody else to use any version of that for the rest of the night, and I just feel that that's where a lot of independent lacks here on the East Coast, is that guys don't watch the matches while they're happening. They sit in the back, they relax, they talk on their phones, they're Instagramming, there's selfies, and they should be peeking through the curtain and watching these matches to make sure that they don't use any of these moves.
Yeah, it was the same over there. So, and they're very particular about the things that we do and how we do it, and it has to be crisp, and it has to be the best that you can do it, because the stardom is very famous all over the world, right? And like the expectations are really high, and they're very like big into the show, and they put in a really good show. So, yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from that.
Okay, well, I know you got a match in an event to prepare for tonight, so I don't want to hold you up anymore. I just want to say congratulations on everything that you achieved and earned in Japan, And I want to say thank you very